This is the future.
Lots of things have been revealed during the latest live stream of Digital Extremes about Duviri Paradox. For those who have watched it, I know you are kind of excited on the new things that the new update will bring to Warframe. However, let me talk about the things you might have missed in the live stream. Important things of why the Duviri Paradox update could forever change Warframe and the things you can do to lessen the grind of the upcoming Duviri Paradox content island. First of all, Digital Extremes talked about the new Incarnon weapons which will be tied in the Steel Path version of the new circuit mission exclusive in Duviri Paradox. Incarnon Genesis adapters will be available as a reward from the Steel Path variant of the circuit game mode, the first time you enter the Steel Path circuit each week. Following the weekly reset on Sundays, you will be prompted to select 2 Incarnon Genesis from a pool of 5 choices. Each stage you complete will contribute circuit XP towards your reward tiers in the circuit. The items in your reward path include your selected Incarnon Genesis, Steel Essence, and an assortment of other items pulled from curated reward pools. Incarnon Genesis compatible weapons are as follows. For the primary weapon, it will first include at launch Braton, Paris, Latran, Strun, Dread, Burston, Mitre, Torrid, and Bolter. For the secondary weapons, it includes Despair, Lato, Zilok, Kunai, Furies, Vasto, Atomos, Dual Doxos East, Bronco and Lex. And for the melees, it will include Skarner, Hate, Cybar, Bow, Farax, Nami Solo, Ak and Brunt, Dualica, Ceramic Dagger and Magistar. Take note that these are old weapons that when you attach an Incarnon Genesis, they'll be upgraded to their respective Incarnon forms which will unlock new stats and traits. I have a separate video listing most of the traits available for each weapon, so, if you are interested, then feel free to look at that video after this. So what exactly is the circuit? Well, it's a new mission type that put all old mission types in Warframe together. That's the way I see it, and if you think this way, then it's not that exciting to those players who have been playing Warframe for a long time, or even for those players that considered themselves veterans and had supported Digital Extremes since day one. This is a fact, but the roguelite mechanic on the circuit is quite an amusing feature and I dig it. So in each circuit stage, you have to find degrees which are actual buffs that you can use, and the further you dive into the circuit, the greater the degree and the harder the challenge because enemy scaling is expected. Nonetheless, I'm pretty excited about the fact that degree buffs will be in the circuit missions, and it feeds that power fantasy that I am always longing in Warframe. That's what Warframe is, and every time we finish a stage in the circuit mission, you will have new powers to further push to deeper circuit missions. Take note that stages in circuit mission vary, and they can be exterminated now, mobile defense later, excavation after, or even void missions from the Zariman ships. It's random, and eventually, the circuit is quite a good place for team builds, and I'm sure that most of those Steel Path players will group up to farm the hell on this mission. But the question is, could we solo circuit missions? Well, there could be a possibility that we can solo circuit missions and farm. But why solo though? Well, maybe because of bad internet connection? Or there are just no friends to play with? Or, we can expect the worst thing that could happen, and that is when players farmed all the stuff in the circuit, it will be another content island and it will be harder to find teams to go within this circuit mission. Digital Extremes said that they'll be adding new Incarnon weapons and they'll be expanding this new system. However, I couldn't help but think of how often will they add Incarnon weapons in the game. Also, some players would like some peace and go alone, farm at their own pace, so, can it be solo ed? Well, the question is it worth to solo though? The rewards in the mission will be Incarnon Genesis and Steel Essence, plus other Duviri stuff which I think would be needed for crafting Duviri weaponries. Also, the circuit could be the home of new Duviri Paradox arcanes, and I can see solo players doing runs that are playable solo, such as Exterminate, Survival, Capture maybe, but not those which will require defending, such as excavation missions, especially in Steel Path and beyond. These types of missions are best dealt with by a team, but Digital Extremes did say that Helminth builds can be used in the circuit mission, which means we can eventually do a Subsume Resonator build for any Warframe that we think will last longer with this new Gauntlet mode in Warframe, and eventually can clear almost all missions in the game. I would say that frames like Titania would be very famous in this runs, since Titania offers DPS, mobility, and crowd control with her lantern ability. there will come a time wherein players will talk about who will be the meta Warframe in Duviri Paradox, specifically in the circuit missions, and there would absolutely be players that will say that it's Titania. However, there's a big catch to the circuit mission. You don't get to choose your Warframe and you are given a set of random Warframes to choose from. Probably there will be no Titania in all of your circuit runs, and you will most likely take advantage of subsuming abilities that will aid almost all your Warframes to prepare them for the circuit. What about the Stalker? Well, we haven't heard about his kit yet, and I'm not sure if he will be available in the circuit missions. But if he does, I'm hoping that this entity is somehow a doppelganger that can replicate multiple Warframe abilities. Say, you can choose the abilities for the Stalker, and if this happens, then this will be the most meta Warframe in the new mission. However, solo farming will be hard, and I just hope that Digital Extremes will continue to update circuit missions often to continue the coup play. Because at the moment, the coup play of Warframe is slowly diminishing. If players are not playing Steel Path Fishers, or Eidolon Hunts, then they are eventually farming stuff solo. Another good part about the circuit that Digital Extremes showcased in their live stream are it as a normal counterpart new players will love. So, in Duviri Paradox, if you have a new account, you will be prompted to choose between the Warframe path or the Duviri path. Well, fuck the Warframe path wherein you will go against Vor and just choose the Duviri path as it has more benefits. Once you finish up the main quest of Duviri Paradox, eventually, you will gain access to the Vor's prize quest and have the option to continue your playthrough in the Warframed path. However, I don't think that would be a good decision knowing that the normal circuit mission also unlocks in the process. So, what's good with the normal Gauntlet mode? I mean circuit mission? Well, it will be the best way to farm Warframes in the game. The rewards of the normal circuit are Warframe parts and you can choose what Warframes you want to build. Fuck the RNG in normal star chart, and with some help from other players also, you can build your first Warframe easily in the circuit mission. But squad leader, I have nothing. I don't have mods and weapons. The Gauntlet will provide you with that. Aside from the fact that you can choose a Warframe that you don't own yet to use in the circuit mission, you can also get a set of weapons, with what DE calls loner mods, which will eventually boost the power of both your weapons and Warframes. I bet that these so-called loner mods are those that are best in the slot for the Warframes, but they are vanilla mods only, enough to take down challenges in the new circuit mission. Is the normal circuit mission only for beginners? I think it will not be only for beginners that will farm new Warframes in the game. Veterans can also take advantage of this new Gauntlet system, as Digital Extremes said that they are also giving players increase affinity gain for killing enemies. It might be a good spot for leveling your Warframes and weapons also, but I think it would not replace the meta Sanctuary Onslaught leveling wherein there's only one goal and that is to kill enemies. The new circuit missions will have rotational missions, wherein you can randomly get a survival mission on the first run, but it won't be the same when you do it again. It might be a good spot to gain those vanilla Warframes that you don't own yet as a veteran player, and maybe there will be other Duviri drops worth farming in the normal circuit compared to the Steel Path version. Another thing to take note of is that some intrinsics you can from your drifter are tied to the circuit missions. If you want to invest more time in the circuit missions in Duviri Paradox, then I think you should maximize the opportunity intrinsic first of the drifter. I don't have enough details as I probably miss on some things, but if gaining intrinsics is not only tied to bounty-like mission in the open world areas of Duviri Paradox, then we can expect that the circuit mission will also be the best way to farm intrinsics for our drifter. But why max the opportunity intrinsic first though? Well, almost all of the buffs and features in here are built towards making your progression in the circuit mission smooth. The first one you unlock here is called Expanded Decrees, adds one more decree to choose from. Then, you unlock the ability to choose 2 more weapons next. Then, we have Lucky Opener, which lets you gain a free decree when you enter Duviri. I don't know if this will be tied to open world only, or will it be available to the circuit though. Also, we have Warframe Abundance, which allows us to gain 1 additional Warframe option in Teshin's Cave. Then, we also have Treasure Finder, which gives you an extra plus 50% chance to get rare decrees. Fresh Hand allows you to discard offered decrees and get a new selection, up to 3 times per Duviri visit. This is nice, but like Lucky Opener, I don't know if this will also be available in the circuit mission or only for the open world. At level 7, It allows you to maximize your arsenal by giving you 2 additional weapon choices in Teshin's Cave. At level 8 of the Opportunity Intrinsic, you gain access to Warframe Diversity, which gives you another additional Warframe option in Teshin's Cave. The level 9 perk is called High Value Vendor, and it says that Acrithis' stock now includes 1 arcane per day. And the last one is called Stranger in Black, which is an unlikely ally that will occasionally appear in Teshin's Cave as a playable Warframe. This will probably be the Stalker. I don't know how much of a help Stalker would do, but like I have said, if he's a doppelganger Warframe that could imitate Warframe abilities, and after unlocking Opportunity level 10 he will always be at the Warframe selection screen, then the Stalker could be the meta Warframe for the circuit. My fingers are crossed though. So these are all the first pieces of information that we have for the actual gameplay of Duviri Paradox. These may change at launch, but use this video as a preparation guide, as most of them are coming out once Duviri Paradox arrives, based on what we saw in the live stream. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. That's it for me, and more Duviri Paradox videos next week. Squad Leader signing off.